First, on Late Nighter, fans of BYU TV's Studio C are accusing Saturday Night Live of copying a sketch idea after both shows aired pieces titled Beauty and MrBeast within the same week. Studio C released its Beauty and Breast sketch on Monday, November 3rd, blending YouTuber MrBeast's over-the-top challenge format with Disney's Beauty and the Beast. 5 days later, SNL's November 8th episode, hosted by Nikki Glazer, featured a sketch with the same title and a similar premise. The resemblance quickly drew attention online, with some viewers noting the near-identical setups, though the sketches themselves ultimately go in different directions. Studio C, a family-friendly sketch series produced by BYU TV in Provo, Utah, debuted in 2012 and has built a large digital following with more than 2 billion YouTube views. The show has occasionally welcomed high-profile guest stars, including SNL cast members Kenan Thompson and Will Forte. Being the 50-year institution that it is, this isn't the first time SNL writers have been accused of plagiarism. Watch SNL's Beauty and MrBeast. In 1995, the show settled a lawsuit with comedian Rick Shapiro after cast. Member and writer Jay Moore was accused of stealing one of the comedian's bits, word for a sketch titled O'Callahan and Son Pub.over. The years, a number of other comedians and comedy groups, including Tig Notaro, Tim Heidecker, and the Groundlings, have pointed out similarities between their works and ones included in the show. Just last month, New York City comic Issa Medina, who says she's friendly with Saturday Night Live writers and cast, members accused the show of stealing her idea. For its ChatGPT sketch of coarse parallel thinking when two teams independently land on the same premise is a frequent occurrence. In comedy, especially when both are riffing on the same cultural moment. This weekend's MrBeast sketch isn't the first time Studio C and SNL have had overlapping ideas. In 2020, both shows aired similar takes on the same Lexus holiday ad campaign within days of each other. In the high-velocity world of sketch comedy, where ideas are currency and timeliness is paramount, the line between convergent inspiration and outright plagiarism is often blurry. This week, that line has been drawn in the sand between the towering 50-year-old institution of Saturday Night Live and the digitally savvy, family-friendly underdog Studio C from BYU TV, sparking a firestorm of online debate and accusations. The controversy ignited over a sketch titled Beauty and MrBeast, which both comedy shows produced and aired within a startling 5-day window, leaving fans of the Utah-based program crying foul and accusing SNL of lifting a concept. The tale of two sketches. The timeline is the first piece of evidence presented by those leveling the accusations. On Monday, November 3rd, BYU TV's Studio C released its digital sketch, Beauty and MrBeast. The premise brilliantly fused two potent elements of modern pop culture, the classic narrative of Disney's Beauty and the Beast and the hyperkinetic, challenge-based video format of YouTube megastar Jimmy MrBeast Donaldson. The sketch portrayed the fairy tale characters reimagined through a MrBeast lens, complete with extravagant stunts, a camera crew, and the YouTuber's signature over-the-top generosity, all aimed at solving the Beast's curse for clicks and views. Just 5 days later, on the November 8th episode of SNL, hosted by comedian Nikki Glazer, a sketch with the exact same title, Beauty and MrBeast, aired. The setup was undeniably similar, the enchanted world of Beauty and the Beast colliding with the vlogging, challenge-obsessed persona of MrBeast. In the SNL version, Bowen Yang played a flamboyant Lumiere orchestrating a viral video, attempting to get Belle, played by Glazer, to declare love for the Beast, Mikey Day, in a MrBeast-style extravaganza. While the execution and specific jokes diverged, Studio C's leaned into family-friendly absurdity, while SNL's incorporated more adult-oriented humor about the Beast's online desperation. The core premise was a near-perfect match. For many viewers, the identical title and conceptual foundation were too coincidental to ignore. Online outcry and the David versus Goliath narrative. The resemblance was quickly spotted and dissected on social media platforms like X, formerly Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube comment sections. Fans of Studio C, a show that has cultivated a fiercely loyal and large digital following, were the most vocal. It's just too specific. The same mashup of two very specific properties with the same title in the same week? Come on, wrote one user on X, a sentiment echoed by hundreds. Another commenter framed it as a classic Hollywood story. the massive, billion-dollar corporation borrowing from the smaller, independent creator. Studio C did it first, did it better, and SNL should acknowledge it. This David versus Goliath narrative is a powerful undercurrent in the debate. Studio C, which debuted in 2012 from Provo, Utah, is a production of BYU TV, a network owned by Brigham Young University. Despite its niche origins, the show has become a digital powerhouse, amassing over 2 billion views on YouTube and building a fan base that rivals many mainstream comedy acts. Its success is rooted in clean, clever, and character-driven humor, and it has even attracted high-profile guest stars, including SNL veterans Kenan Thompson and Will Forte, creating an ironic connection to the very show it now finds itself at odds with. SNL's long and litigious history with accusations for Saturday Night Live. This is far from uncharted territory. As a comedy behemoth that has produced thousands of sketches over 5 decades, it has repeatedly faced allegations of idea theft. The most legally significant case occurred in 1995, when the show settled a lawsuit with comedian Rick Shapiro. Shapiro alleged that then cast member and writer Jay Moore had performed one of his bits, word for word, in a sketch titled O'Callahan and Son Pub. The settlement, while not an admission of guilt, remains a black mark on the show's record. The accusations have persisted through the years. Comedian Tig Notaro publicly called out the show for a sketch she felt was lifted from her stand-up routine. Tim Heidecker of Tim and Eric Awesome Show, great job! Fame has also pointed to similarities between his work and SNL's. Even the famed Los Angeles comedy troupe The Groundlings has, at times, found itself in a side-by-side comparison with sketches that later appeared on the NBC late-night staple. Most recently, just last month, New York City comic Isa Medina accused the show of stealing her idea for its ChatGPT-io sketch, a claim made more poignant by her stated friendship with several SNL writers and cast members. This pattern has conditioned a segment of the comedy community and its audience to be skeptical whenever a familiar premise appears on the SNL stage. The comedy writer's dilemma: plagiarism or parallel thinking? In defense of SNL and its writers, the phenomenon of parallel thinking, or convergent creation, is a well-documented and frequent occurrence in comedy, especially in the digital age. When writers are all swimming in the same cultural soup, reacting to the same viral videos, trending topics, and blockbuster movies, it is statistically inevitable that two teams will sometimes land on the same satirical premise independently. MrBeast, with his 200 million-plus subscribers and a content style based on monumental, viral-friendly challenges, is a constant presence in the online zeitgeist. Similarly, Disney's Beauty and the Beast is an evergreen property. The concept of mashing a classic fairy tale with the aesthetics of a modern YouTube sensation is, as some industry insiders argue, a logical and low-hanging fruit for any comedy writer's room. This is not even the first time Studio C and SNL have experienced this specific type of overlap. In 2020, both shows aired remarkably similar parodies of the same Lexus holiday ad campaign within days of each other. That incident passed with significantly less fanfare. But it sets a precedent for these two creative teams occasionally being on the same wavelength, the unresolved punchline. As of now, neither Saturday Night Live, NBC, nor the writers of the sketch have publicly commented on the accusations. Representatives for BYU TV and Studio C have also maintained silence, likely aware that publicly challenging a titan like SNL is a precarious endeavor. The incident leaves the comedy world with familiar, unresolved questions. In an industry where ideas are ephemeral and execution is everything, what constitutes theft? When does a common comedic premise cross into the territory of a lifted concept? For the dedicated fans of Studio C, the evidence feels damning. For defenders of SNL, it's a case of unfortunate but innocent timing. The digital court of public opinion has rendered its split verdict. Without a formal acknowledgement or apology, the Beauty and MrBeast saga will likely become just another footnote in SNL's long, complicated history with plagiarism claims, a brief, contentious flashpoint reminding everyone that in the race for the next big laugh, sometimes two runners can start from the same block, whether they intended to or not.